Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Yorkshireman66. I am Mark. Well, you know what I am, I'm here to entertain you, here to bring you fascinating stories or whatever you want to hear. I've got one for you, I've got another story for you. Now, to me, I picked this up on YouTube. The source, I'll do a disclaimer, I'm not dishing the channel, I'm not saying he's right or he's wrong. All I'm saying is this is where I got my idea for my story. So, Alex Belfield, as we all know, the voice of reason, a damn good channel, go watch him, but sometimes he gets it wrong. Now, he's on about arrogant cyclists. Now, I am a responsible cyclist myself. I do cycle, ride a bike and that and plenty of people do. But there's always this big argument, and it comes up every year. Now it's been suggested that, according to a lawyer, come from Alex Belfield's channel, do this, Mr. Loophole, a lawyer called me, yeah, right, you know what I mean? But come from a motorist lawyer saying that all cyclists must have a registration plate on the push bike. Well, I say, no, we shouldn't. I don't agree with that, and I don't believe that they are, cyclists. We are not. Well, I'm not arrogant or all like that. I am polite and things like that. I've heard horror stories and I've seen horror stories myself, and you always get one-sided. Now, Alex has gone on the one-sided view. He's, saying all cyclists are arrogant and bad, and they all break the law. Well, I will tell him this. Responsible cyclists do not break the law. They do not ride on the path and things like that. They ride on the pavement. They stop at every traffic light like I do, and that is being a responsible cyclist. I don't want to be tied into these people who ride and who are scaring people off the pavement. I'm not a thug or out like that. And I don't terrorise. I am, and kids do this. You know what I mean? But he says, cyclists should follow the law. Well, we do. The police should be able to accountability for you. Well, they can. It's as simple as this. We do follow the law. It is. I had to take cycling proficiency tests and things like that. And I had to show that I was competent to ride my bike, my push bike, on the main road. Because back when I was born and I was growing up in the 1970s, I was 4-year-old when I started to ride, 1970. I had to show a level of competence and road safety awareness that I could ride my bike. And I've been doing that since 1970. And it's as simple as that. Obviously, I've had a break in between because I've been hospitalised and things like that. But no push bike has ever put me in hospital. I wonder why. Because I'm responsible. I'm a responsible cyclist. But there's always been this argument that cyclists should pay to use the road. No, I don't agree with that. If you go back into history, like I have done a video on this, if you want to read back or look back at the videos what I've done previously, I did the history of bike, cycling and things like that. Let me tell you now, it is the motorist who has hijacked the cyclist road for themselves. They're the arrogant ones, in my opinion. But you only hear one side of it. Alex Belfield says, oh, well, the GoPro hippies and that. I have a camera on front of my bike. Yes, I do have a camera. And it happens to be a GoPro on the front handlebar of my bike. But I use that like a dash cam. If somewhere I'm involved in an accident, it'll be on the camera. And it's as simple as that. That camera is my eyewitness. If I've done something wrong, it will tell the police that. If I haven't done anything wrong and someone's hit me, the camera will say that as well. It's as simple as that. There is no law against anyone wearing a camera in public. No law whatsoever. You know what I mean? And Alex Belfield seems to be fixated on people wearing cameras, and I don't know why. You know what I mean? We're not out there to catch anybody out. Some people might be, but I'm not. And things like that. I use it, like I say, I use my GoPro camera as a dash cam, like cars do. Anyone is okay to film anyone. I mean, if you want to put a camera on your car, you can do so. It ain't against the law. What I don't like is every year that someone comes along and bashes the cyclists for no reason. There is no reason for this at all. There is a reason for getting irresponsible cyclists off the road. I agree, but not not a responsible cyclist like me. I am responsible. I cycle everywhere usually and things like that. So what I'm saying is, no. Why should we, the cyclists, have to pay more? I mean, there is a lot of cyclists out there who pay for expensive bikes, and they do. I know of one cyclist who spent £6,000 to £8,000 on a bike. You know what I mean? And it's an expensive bike, but it's all singing and dancing. It's all the best. It's not even an entry level. It's near on pro. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm saying. Cyclists do pay, and they're on about a database where if you do anything wrong, the police can catch you. Well, that's already been done. There is a database out there. Anyone who buys a brand new cycle, push bike, has to give their name, postcode, and things like that, and that should be passed on to the police. Hence the database. They have got their database, and also they'll have a frame number of your bike that will give the history of that bike. And it's as simple as that. And it would help to stop thefts as well. People nicking push bikes and things like that. Because it does happen. I mean, you do get, unfortunately, some people's bikes go missing and things like that. So, in a way, the cyclist is already paying a big bill because we buy our bikes and things like that, and we also pay a big bill. Now, I don't ride my cyclist in the gutter. Being told by the police you shouldn't do that, and which is true, but it's the motorist who should be more aware of cyclists as well. We're aware of them, you should be aware of us, and it's as simple as that. You know what I mean? And I don't go around causing damage to cars and things like that. You know what I mean? But I have literally seen with my own eyes motorists deliberately aim for cyclists to scare them off the road. That has to stop. That is wrong. There is two sides to this coin. There's the cyclist side, where I do cycle, I don't cause any damage to other cars and things like that, and I am not part of the norm. I am a cyclist. I am a responsible cyclist. I do everything right. I do everything what I'm supposed to do, and things like that. You know what I mean? Cyclists have insurance and things like that. So no, we shouldn't have to pay for number plates to be put on to our bikes, and it won't look very nice neither. You know what I mean? And I don't agree with this at all. You know what I mean? The only reason why motor cars have to pay road fund tax is because it's an engine. It's a combustion engine. I don't have a combustion engine. I'm a human being. I am the engine. And also, when you think about it, riding a push bike is a lot more healthier than riding in a car. It's a lot more healthier, a lot more greener than any electric car. You know what I mean? And I know for definite that the government want to put all this, what's good for the environment, top of the list. And cycling should be way up there, because cycling is a hell of a lot greener than riding round in cars. Hell of a lot greener than riding round in an electric car. There's a lot of arguments saying, oh, well, you're still polluting. Yes, but it's at less of a fraction than an electric car. Electric cars are not completely green. Neither are push bikes, but they are greener, if you know what I mean. So, bashing the cyclist is not going to help. And if they were successful in charging cyclists to have this number plate on their bikes, would it stop? No, it wouldn't. This wouldn't stop the argument at all. The argument and the misuse of our roads will continue. Yeah, I mean, licensing push bikes is not going to solve the problem. What is going to solve the problem is teaching, changing attitudes and behaviour on the road. That's got to be taught at the school level. When you're bringing up your kids, I was taught that. I was taught to be courteous and things like this. And this is the attitude towards it and the behaviour towards it. You know what I mean? It's all right. You know, say, well, I used to cycle, but now I'm in a car, I can do what I want. No, you can't do what you want because you're in a car. You're in a car doesn't mean that cyclists become nothing. They're still out there. You know what I mean? They're still out there, and it is, for a lot of people, it's a lifestyle choice as well that they want to ride a bike. And there is nothing on this land or in any law what can stop a cyclist from riding on the road and things like that. In fact, any cyclist what's riding on a path is committing a crime. And people don't realise that, but it is a crime. You know what I mean? The police don't do anything about it because they're powerless to do so, because the numbers are dwindled through the government. You know what I mean? You see where I'm coming? Put more police on the street, then these laws become interactive. There is already a law out there where if you're on a bike and you go through a red light and a policeman sees you, you can be stopped and prosecuted. And it's as simple as that, because you are abusing the law of the road. You know what I mean? Cyclists have to follow the same rule as a motorist. Simple as that. You know what I mean? So in my mind, yes, there is irresponsible riding. There is people who ride side by side and not single file. If you're on a country road, you should be riding in single file, not side by side. You shouldn't be even riding side by side in the city centre. You should always be in single file. And it's as simple as that. You know what I mean? I ride, single file. I don't ride like that. Never have, never will. I've had people come riding up alongside me who do it. I tell them, well, you either pass me or you get into the back of the queue, mate. You know what I mean? Because that is irresponsible riding, in my opinion. You must be in control of your bike at all times, which is true. Your bike must be roadworthy, which is true. It has to be roadworthy, no matter what. I've seen bikes out there what are not roadworthy, I'll tell you, and things like that. But my bike is, I mean, what I cycle on, it is very roadworthy, and it's as simple as that. As long as it's roadworthy, everything could be cool. You know what I mean? So there is always two sides to the coin. There's the motorist who think that cyclists shouldn't be on the road. Well, you're wrong. The roads have been around a lot longer than the motor car. In fact, it was the roads what was invented for cyclists, so they didn't have to ride on muck and bumpy tracks and things like that. And it was, cyclists who introduced tarmac roads, or roads, smoother roads, so they could ride their push bikes. Gentlemen used to ride, gentlemen with top hat and full suit used to ride push bikes and things like that. Doesn't mean to say that they're arrogant, because they're not. I haven't met one yet what's arrogant. Met a lot of arrogant motorists, but I haven't met an arrogant cyclist yet. But yeah, people who do cycle also have motor cars. I used to have a car myself. I used to do both. But I follow the law of the land. I've always have done, and I always will do. In fact, me being a cyclist first made me a better motorist, and I can say that with my hand on heart. You know what I mean? So there is, there's always going to be that argument that where motorists say, no, you shouldn't be on the road. Cyclists say, yeah, we should. Well, yes, we should be on the road. I mean, if it wasn't for cyclists, you wouldn't have the bloody roads in the first place. The roads was hijacked by motor cars when the first car were made. And they hijacked. They didn't ask permission to do it. They just hijacked our road. They just took it off us. Off at cyclists. You know what I mean? Cycling's been around before the motor car. You know what I mean? And before the cycle, before the push bike was horse and cart and things like that, and before we ever did horse and cart, there was Shanks's pony, walking. We used to walk everywhere. So, you know what I mean? Times have changed, and we all know this. So, the bike came along 68 years before the motor car. In my mind, the king of the road is the cyclist, not the motorist. It's the motorist who hijacked our roads. They were the arrogant ones. We'll use them. And then they decided to put traffic light systems up, zebra crossings up, roundabouts up, to spoil it all. literally take it off us and completely spoil it. And then government introduce a road fund tax. Think about it. You know what I mean? You really, really think about it. You know, the only reason why cyclists do not get charged is we don't cause any damage to the roads. We never have and we never will. And things like that. And also, you can't tax a cyclist because it ain't got an engine. It is propelled by a human being. It's as simple as that. And I'm sick to death of people bashing the cyclist for no good reason as well, all because they want them to pay because the motorist pays. Well, you pay because you're in a bigger vehicle than any of us. I mean, when I go out onto the road, I take my life into my own hands. No one talks about the death rate of how many cyclists get killed each year, and it's quite a lot actually, and you'll be very surprised. Every year cyclists do get killed, and it's mainly because of the it's mainly the motorists who don't see the cyclist apparently. Must be driving with the eyes shut in my mind, but there you go. But that's what it's all about. And also, you do get the occasions where you do get cyclists taking shortcuts. Like when they see a traffic lights, mounting the curve so they can get round the red light, nearly knocking over pedestrians. I've witnessed that myself very recently in Wakefield, and I get in full force of my tongue. I'm telling you, you're only a kid. You're only about 15, 16 year old. But he got the full whip of my tongue, I'll tell you. Yeah, he shouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? If he'd have caused any injury, he'd have been paying for it. I'll tell you that now. But you do get that. But the way to deal with it, it's not to charge everyone to go on the road or to charge people for cycling. No, keep it free. It's a sport. Sports are for all. Sports are not for the elite. And this is what these people are trying to do. Believe you me, they are trying to make cycling for the elite and not for the poor. They don't believe that we should have the right to do any of this. But I disagree. I think cycling is for everyone. Sports for all. You know what I mean? I back any sport. And that's the kind of sport what I like. Cycling. It's a damn good way of keeping fit. And Boris wants a fitter nation. Well, if he wants a fitter nation, then he'll keep the cycling laws as they are. He'll just empower the police to say, look, if you see one go through a red light, just give him a tug. And the police can do this already. The police can stop anyone from riding on the path. It is illegal. But, yeah, people are completely oblivious. Yes. If you look at the mobility scooter, that's far more dangerous than a cyclist. You know what I mean? They don't even look where they're going. They off they go. And they don't even keep the speed down. They put it onto maximum and go for it. They're doing 8 miles an hour on a pavement. It's all wrong. Where's the police then? Where are these people who bash the cyclists saying, well, look, what about mobility scooters? They're just as bad, if not worse. I think mobility scooters, people who use mobility scooters, some use them correctly. A lot of them don't. A lot of them abuse them. In fact, there's a lot of people out there who's got mobility scooters and they're not even disabled. They're not even registered disabled. So go figure that. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying. So there's more than one side to every story. So we're going back now. Like I say, yes, I do use a GoPro camera, and why not? And why is certain people on YouTube fixated on that? Oh no, we don't like these cyclists using GoPro. Why? Have you got something to hide? Are you committing a crime while you are driving? Because that's the only people who I can see who would have a problem with it. Yeah, nobody else seems to have a problem, only them. The police don't have a problem with it. In fact, it was very recently that a copper came up to me and says, oh, you got a camera on your back? I says, yeah, I've got one on my back as well. He says, well, that's responsible of you, isn't it? I goes, yeah, it is, isn't it? I goes, I'm just making sure that I'm safe on the road. And he says, well, I commend you, mate. You know what I mean? Not many people do that. And then he must have seen me around riding. He says, you do ride responsible. So I've had it from the place that I am a responsible cyclist. So go figure that one out. You know what I mean? But getting back to these people with money and the elite who wants us to pay, I say no. We shouldn't have to pay. We shouldn't have to have a registration number on any push bike whatsoever. It's never cropped up before until now. Yes, you're always wanting the cyclist to pay some kind of tax, but they already do through the payment of their bike and things like that. You tell me, you know what I mean? What would you rather spend your money on? You know what I mean? I spent my money on buying a decent bike, cycling, so I could cycle to and fro and use it all the time as everyday transport. At least I'm not using the buses. At least I'm getting fit by using a push bike. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? Our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, wants us to get fitter. That is the way to do it. So what I say to people is, watching this, if you haven't got a bike, a cycling, get one. Go get cycling. You may enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, you'll get fitter for it. Even if it's only at weekend, please do it. You know what I mean? I encourage people to ride their bikes and to cycle. Responsibly cycle and things like that. I do. I used to be a member of 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 a bike club. You know what I mean? Of a cycling club. I'm not anymore, obviously, but I used to be, and we was encouraged, how to ride, what to ride, where to go, and things like that. It's amazing what you get and the benefits of cycling is better than being stuck in a tin box with a diesel engine. Spewing out all that horrible garbage. You know what I mean? At least I'm not. Look, I'm on a bike. What doesn't even cost the environment, only to make, but it is greener than any vehicle. It's even greener than an electric car. Go figure that one. So there you go. So that's my little video about cyclists. Now cyclists shouldn't have to pay. We shouldn't have to be registered neither. And when you think about it, there is already a database. It's just that, do we, us cyclists, have to do your job? Now, I think we do. If you go to every bike supplier in the country, you can get your database. They have the bike, they have the frame number, they have the person who bought it, they have their address and things like that. That's the start of your database. All because a cyclist cannot be picked up by a camera, what registers registration number. That's not my problem. That is their problem. You've got the problem, not me. It's as simple as that. And I will tell you one thing. If this daft keeps coming up again and again and again, and it will, and it'll keep coming up, and I know it'll keep going up, but if it keeps coming up again and again and again, what do you want? Do you want people not to cycle anymore? Do you want people not to be fit anymore? Because that's what could happen. You could scare people off. You could literally put people off from taking the bike out and thinking, oh no, I'd rather walk. Things like that. What? Where is it going to stop? You make cyclists. It's not going to solve the argument. It's not going to stop the argument. I mean, what will help to stop the argument is, like I say, it's a change of attitude and behaviour. And there is bad behaviour on our roads from both sides of the pond. From both sides. From a cycling perspective as well as a motorist, there is bad behaviour. It's what they call road rage, isn't it? And things like that. You know what I mean? So what are you going to do? Where is the book going to stop? So we all stop cycling and we all start walking. Are you going to say then that we should be charged for walking? You know what I mean? This has to stop. All this elite bigotry rubbish has to stop. And by the way, I am not far left. I am a cyclist, but I'm not far left. I'm not a far left goon. I'm not a Marxist neither. So, stereotyping people isn't the way to do it as well. No, you know what I mean? Because I'm not from the far left at all. I speak out about the far left. I don't like the far left. I don't even like the far right. I don't even like this government. So to call me far left, no, I'm not a far left Marxist. No cyclist is. Some might be, but I'm not. I am a responsible cyclist. And it's like this. I don't fake it. I am a nice, genuine, nice person. But at the end of the day, like I say, there's always two stories to the coin. Always. Simple as that. you've heard my side of the story. You know what I mean? And my side of the story, well, I think I'm making perfect sense. We shouldn't have to be charged to ride on roads on a push bike. It's all wrong. You know what I mean? It is all wrong. It is like trying to make, you're wanting to make more money. Why? Well, I know the excuse of why they want to do it is, well, it'll raise money for road. Well, hang on a minute, but you get road fund tax still off drivers. They pay an excise duty, and it's not road tax. It's a vehicle excise duty thing. You know what I mean? They pay it every year. Where's all the money from that? Why ain't it going on our roads? Because you're pocketing it. There is corruption, and this is leading to it. You know what I mean? It's more corruption, literally more corruption. Now, leave the cyclists alone. Leave them all alone. We shouldn't have to be registered. I know I will never will be. And I will never, ever, ever have a number plate on a push bike. Because I don't agree with it. You're going down that path, and then we'll be charged for walking, and then we'll have to, things like that. It's all wrong. We shouldn't have to go through that at all. We should be free to do what we want. And I know I can go tomorrow, pay me £500, get a push bike, it'll be built up, it'll be ready to go, it'll be roadworthy, and then I can enjoy the rest of my cycling life. But there is people somewhat similar to Alex Belfield who wants to stop all that. Well, no. In fact, there should be taking steps to reduce the number of motor cars and motorcycles off our road, not the cyclist. In fact, the government should be encouraging more people to cycle than to buy cars, and it's as simple as that. So you reduce the number of cars, everyone will be happy. It won't happen, by the way, but that's the way things are heading, and that's where the big arguments are coming from. Yeah, I mean, there is cycling association who don't agree with all this rubbish. By the way, I back him 100%. We shouldn't have a cyclist shouldn't have to pay X amount of money to go out and get fresh air. It is all wrong. It's absolute rubbish. And do not be fixated on cyclists having GoPro cameras. If you've got nothing to hide, then you've got nothing to fear. And that's all I say. And long live the cyclist. And cyclists have got the common sense to use cameras like a dash cam. Well done. And congratulations. If you... hang on a minute. I'm losing my voice here. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please like the video. Please subscribe if you're new. And it's free to subscribe, and if you want to hear more about what I talk about and things like that, please subscribe. It's free to subscribe. Hit the bell icon and hit all, that will let you know when I'm putting up another video. Please share the video to your friends and your family, to other social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Bing. And also, please comment below. I always look forward to your comments. Some are amazing comments. And I thank you for all your support. Yet another video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.